CS Academy. Today we will discuss about the one of the concept is strength of materials. The last time what are the questions they are asking in strength of materials. We will do some analysis for engineering assistant exam. The last time they are asking nearly 14 questions in strength of materials. లాస్ట్ టైం ఏంటంటే మనకి 14 క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగారు స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్స్. ఈ 14 క్వశ్చన్స్లో మోస్ట్లీగా మనం కాన్సెప్ట్ వైజ్ డివైడ్ చేసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. ఈ స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్ కాన్సెప్ట్లో ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్. ఎక్కువగా మోస్ట్లీ దీని నుండి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఒక 2 to 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చాయి. నెక్స్ట్ ఎస్ఎఫ్డి అండ్ బిఎండి నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది బీమ్స్ డ్యూ టు బెండింగ్ స్ట్రెసెస్ అండ్ షియర్ స్ట్రెసెస్. ఇక్కడ నుండి అండి మోస్ట్లీ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని ఎగ్జామ్స్ అడిగే క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ నుండి. ఫస్ట్ ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్ తీసుకుంటే ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ తీసుకుంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ ద ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ ద సెకండ్ కాన్సెప్ట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ ద థర్డ్ కాన్సెప్ట్. ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ నుండి తీసుకుంటే 4 క్వశ్చన్స్ దీని నుండి వచ్చాయండి. సెకండ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ నుండి తీసుకుంటే 5 క్వశ్చన్స్ దీని నుండి వచ్చాయండి. థర్డ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ తీసుకుంటే ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఇంకో 5 కాన్సెప్ట్ దీని నుండి వచ్చాయండి. అంటే మోస్ట్లీ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ అనేది దేనికి ఇస్తున్నాడు అంటే ఎస్ఎఫ్డి బిఎండికి అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ బెండింగ్ స్ట్రెసెస్ అండ్ షియర్ స్ట్రెసెస్ ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్కి ఎక్కువ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇస్తున్నాడు. అంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాల్సిన టాపిక్ అంతా ఎస్ఎఫ్డి బిఎండి అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ బీమ్స్ అండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ వీ గో టు ది ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్. ఫస్ట్ అసలు ఈ స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్స్లో మనకి ఈ 3 కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎందుకు అసలు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశారు అని రీజన్ ఆలోచిస్తే ఇది ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్స్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఏ బేసిక్ ఫర్ ఏ డిప్లొమా, దిస్ ఈజ్ ద బేసిక్ ఫర్ ఏ డిప్లొమో అండ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ఏ బీటెక్. అండ్ మనకి ఏంటంటే బేసిక్స్ ఏ వస్తాయండి డిప్లొమాలో మనకి బేసిక్ అనేది ఏంటంటే స్లోప్స్ అండ్ డిఫ్లెక్షన్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది చాలా తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ కాంప్లెక్స్ స్ట్రెసెస్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది చాలా తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే మోస్ట్లీగా కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేసే కాన్సెప్ట్లు ఏమున్నాయంటే ఒకటి మనకి ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఇంకొకటి ఎస్ఎఫ్డి బిఎండీస్ ఉన్నాయి, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ స్ట్రెసెస్ బెండింగ్ స్ట్రెసెస్ షియర్ స్ట్రెసెస్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాల్సిన కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అంతా ఇది. కాబట్టి మనం 3 పార్ట్స్గా దీన్ని డివైడ్ చేసుకుని దీన్ని మనం సిలబస్ వైజ్ డిస్కస్ చేసుకుందాం. ఇప్పుడు ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా వచ్చాయి ఇవన్నీ మనం అనాలిసిస్ డిస్కస్. ద ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది ఏంటంటే మనకి ఫస్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈజ్ ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్ని ఏంటంటే ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అసలు ఫస్ట్ దీని మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఏమొచ్చిందని అంటే ఫ్రమ్ ద డెఫినేషన్ హెడ్డింగ్ నుండే మనం ఏం చేయొచ్చు అంటే స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ మెటీరియల్స్. అంటే మనం ఏం చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం, మెటీరియల్ యొక్క స్ట్రెంత్ అనేది చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు మెటీరియల్ యొక్క స్ట్రెంత్ అనేది మనం చెక్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, మెటీరియల్ యొక్క ఒక ప్రాపర్టీని చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం. అంటే మెటీరియల్ యొక్క ప్రాపర్టీని మనం చెక్ చేస్తున్నాం. సేమ్ ఇలాంటివి మెటీరియల్కి ఏవైనా ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉన్నాయా, ఇలాంటి ఏవైనా కాన్స్టెంట్ మెటీరియల్స్ ఏవైనా ఉన్నాయా అని చూసుకుంటే మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి ఈకేజీమ్యూ అని అంటే 4 ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్ అనేవి ఉన్నాయండి. వీటిని ఎలాస్టిక్ కాన్స్టెంట్స్ అనే ఎందుకు అన్నాము అని అంటే అకార్డింగ్ టు ది మన స్ట్రెస్ డయాగ్రామ్ ప్రకారం దిస్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ ఈజ్ వ్యాలిడ్ అప్ టు ప్రొపోర్షనాలిటీ లిమిట్. ఈ ప్రొపోర్షనాలిటీ లిమిట్ వరకే మనం ఈ పాయింట్స్ అన్నీ కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నాం. యాక్చువల్గా మనం ఇంజనీరింగ్ మెటీరియల్స్లో అప్లై చేసేవన్నీ విత్ ఇన్ ద ప్రొపోర్షనల్ ఆల్ ఎజంప్షన్స్ యు ఆర్ కన్సిడర్ విత్ ఇన్ ద ఎలాస్టిక్ లిమిట్. కాబట్టి మనం విత్ ఇన్ ద ఎలాస్టిక్ లిమిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే ఓన్లీ అప్ టు ఎలాస్టిక్ లిమిట్స్ పాయింట్స్. అండ్ అట్ ది సేమ్ టైమ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ మోర్ రీజన్ అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ ద this is the point is the elastic region, this is the point is the upper yield point, this is the point is the lower yield point. This lower yield point, this is the proportionality limit, and this lower yield point and elastic points the stress will be same. That means in the design point you consider as a lower yield point, and in the materials most of the materials you are applying load above the elastic region, it go to the permanent deformation, below that it will be temporary deformation. That means material will not undergo any permanent deformation, material only will allow only a temporary deformation. That's why we are assuming like that, like it is a one assumption. That's why we are considered as a elastic constants. That elastic constants is a materials, it is a one is a Young's modulus, another one is a bulk modulus, another one is a rigidity modulus, another one is a Poisson's ratio. First of all, why it is concentrating on elastic constants? That means here you are applying in strength of materials, you are applying load, it is a normal load, and you are applying one more load is the shear load. That means most of the in that strength of materials only you have a two loads. One is a normal load, another one is a shear load. Because of the normal load, Young's modulus will take care of that part, and because of the shear modulus and rigidity modulus will take care of that. And bulk modulus is comes under one of the normal stress. And because of this, the dimension will be changes. The dimension changes parameter, it will be Poisson's ratio. That is the reason only you have to concentrate on these particular 4 points. And this is the elastic constants. E means Young's modulus, K means bulk modulus, G means Poisson, G means rigidity modulus, shear modulus, mu means Poisson's ratio. That's why it is called as elastic constants. And now we have to see what is the relation between these. Relations between the elastic constants is E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. Another one relation is E is equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. Another one relation is E is equal to 9 kg by 3K plus G. That means this is the relation between E, G and mu. This is the relation between E, K and mu. This is the relation between E, K, G and. That means ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే మనకి ప్రతి దాంట్లోనే మనకి 3 ఎగ్జాక్ట్ రిలేషన్స్ అనేది వస్తున్నాయి. ఈ 3 ఎగ్జాక్ట్ రిలేషన్స్లో మనకి దిస్ మీన్స్ యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 2 times G plus mu. యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 3 times 1 minus 2 mu. E is equal to 9 kg by 3K plus G. These all are the derived relations, and they are experimentally find out that relations. They are Young's modulus, it will be 2 times, it will be shear modulus, and 1 plus mu. Young's modulus 3 times bulk modulus in 1 minus 2 mu. That relations will be E kg relations will be 9 kg by 3K plus G. See here, this is this relation. Based on these relations, they will ask you one question. What type of questions they will ask you means, suppose if mu is equal to 0, what happen? And suppose if mu is equal to 0.5, what is the relation? What is the relation between E by G? And suppose if mu is equal to 0, what is the relation between what is the value of E is equal to 2G? See here, suppose if mu is equal to 0, what happen means this term will be 0. That means E is equal to 2G. That means see here, this is the value, they are depending from the mu value. Finally, that is equal to, that relation comes like E is equal to 2G. అంటే ఇప్పుడు రిలేషన్స్ మనకి దేంట్లో వచ్చిందని మనకి ఈ అండ్ జీలో వచ్చింది. అంటే మనం మ్యూ అనే ఒక వాల్యూ మనకి తెలుసు కాబట్టి మ్యూ అనే వాల్యూ అనేది మనం 0 నుండి 0.5 వరకు కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నాం. అంటే దీని మీద క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉన్నాం. మ్యూ వాల్యూ అనేది కన్సిడరింగ్ వాల్యూస్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 to 0.5. అంటే కాబట్టి మనకి మ్యూ అనేది ఏ మెటీరియల్స్కి మనం ఎలా కన్సిడర్ చేయాలో ఫస్ట్ తెలుసుకోవాలి. అండ్ అట్ ది సేమ్ టైమ్ జీ అనే వాల్యూ అనేది మనం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదండి. ఎందుకు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ ఏ మెటీరియల్ ప్రాపర్టీ. యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ ఆఫ్ స్టీల్ అనేది నార్మల్గా మనకు అందరికీ తెలుసు 210 GPa అని. అంటే ఈ వాల్యూ అనేది స్టాండర్డ్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ స్టీల్కే తెలుసు. బట్ ఈ వాల్యూ అనేది మనం తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదండి. అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం బల్క్ మాడ్యులస్ వాల్యూ అనేది తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదండి. ఈ మ్యూ అనే వాల్యూ మాత్రం వేరీస్ ఫ్రమ్ 0 to 0.5 వాల్యూ అని మాత్రం తెలుసుకోవాలండి. బట్ ఏ మెటీరియల్స్కి ఎలా బిహేవ్ చేస్తుంది అనేది ఇప్పుడు చూద్దాం. Varies from 0 to 0.5. What is meant by mu? Mu is represented as a Poisson's ratio, and at the same time you can represent it as, this is also represented in terms of 1 by m also. ఎందుకంటే దీన్ని మనం కొన్ని నొటేషన్స్లో కొంతమంది మ్యూ అని చూపిస్తారు, కొంతమంది m అని కూడా 1 by m అని కూడా చూపిస్తారు. యాక్చువల్గా వాట్ ఈజ్ Poisson's ratio? Poisson's ratio ఈజ్ డిఫైన్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ lateral strain by longitudinal strain or linear strain. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటనంటే దేర్ ఈజ్ చేంజెస్ ఇన్ లాటరల్ అండ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ లీనియర్. చూడండి ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా సపోజ్కి మనం నార్మల్ లోడ్ అనేది ఇలా అప్లై చేసాం అనుకోండి. ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్ లోడ్ అప్లై చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే దిస్ ఈజ్ ద ఒరిజినల్ లెంత్ ఎల్. ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందండి, ఈ లెంత్ కాస్త ఏమవుతుంది, ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ లెంత్ ఏమవుతుంది, బికాజ్ ఆఫ్ ద లోడ్ వల్ల ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది. అంటే ఏమైంది, లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది. అంటే ఆల్రెడీ ఎంతవరకు లెంత్ కాస్ట్ ఏమైంది ప్లస్ డెల్టా ఎల్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది. అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ ఫైనల్ లెంత్ ఏమైంది, ఒరిజినల్ లెంత్ ప్లస్ డెల్టా ఎల్ అయింది. అంటే ఏమైంది, ఫైనల్ లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక డైరెక్షన్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది, యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ బ్రెడ్త్ కానీ చూసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. సపోజ్కి ఇది బ్రెడ్త్, ఇప్పుడు ఏమైంది, ఫైనల్ బ్రెడ్త్ ఇది ఒరిజినల్ బ్రెడ్త్, ఇది ఫైనల్ బ్రెడ్త్కి వచ్చేసరికి తగ్గిపోయింది. అంటే ఫైనల్గా ఏమైంది అంటే లెంత్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అయింది, బ్రెడ్త్ అనేది తగ్గిపోయింది, అంటే డిక్రీజ్ అయిపోయింది. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏమైంది, ఫైనల్గా లెంత్ ఇంక్రీజెస్, బ్రెడ్త్ డిక్రీజెస్. అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ సపోజ్ వన్ డైమెన్షన్ ఇంక్రీజెస్, అదర్ డైమెన్షన్ విల్ బి డిక్రీజెస్. దట్ మీన్స్ దెర్ ఈజ్ ఏ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ద డైమెన్షన్స్, దెర్ ఈజ్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ఏ lengthwise direction, there is increase in a lengthwise direction, decrease in a breadthwise direction. That means there is two directions because of the only one normal load. Because of only one normal load, there will be a two directions, the dimensions will be changes. That means the two directions dimensions will be changes means what it represents means that lateral strain it is directly proportional to the linear strain or longitudinal strain. Finally, what you understood means that lateral strain is directly proportional to the linear strain. That lateral by linear, you get a one constant. That constant is called as a Poisson's ratio. That is none other than it called as a Poisson's ratio. How it is came means that because of that whenever you are applying load, because of the applying normal load, there will be a length increases, there will be a breadth decreases. That means one directions in one linear directions the length increases, and the other lateral direction the breadth decreases. That means the lateral strain it is directly proportional to the linear strain. That means the proportionality, you remove that proportionality, you will get a one constant. That constant is represented as mu or 1 by m. That is known as lateral strain by longitudinal strain. You will get it this value, and this value is varies from 0 to 0.5. Actually sometimes this is negative, and sometimes this is positive, and sometimes this is 0 also. And this negative value you are not engineering materials, you are not considered that engineering, you are considering as for 0 to 0.5 only. For most of the engineering materials they are varies from 0.25 to 0.33. For most of the steel materials you are test conducted, mild steel test conducted, that is values, that engineering materials values is varies from 0.25 to 0.33. These three values, in between these values engineering, all engineering materials are depend on this. Will be Poisson's ratio will be lateral strain by linear strain. That means lateral strain by linear strain. Actually it is varies from 0 to 0.5. When it will be 0, when it will be 0.5. See here, lateral strain, that means 0. That means there is no lateral direction, there is no linear direction. That means the dimensions are not changing in lateral directions, dimensions are not changing in linear directions. That values will be 0 and 0. Finally this ratio 0 and 0 will become a 0. Suppose if it is a very rigid material, or it is like example is a cork. Suppose if it is a rigid cork, there is no changes dimension in lateral direction as well as linear direction. That means suppose if you take a cork, suppose if you are applying load, there is no change in linear direction, there is no changing in lateral direction. That means entire that material dimension is not changing. When a material dimension is not changing, that material is look like a rigid, that is called it as a cork material. That cork material it is not having change, not having any dimensional changes. That material it is having a Poisson's ratio value will be 0. And some of the materials, that materials they are having a 0.5. And why it is considered as a 0.5 means according to the what just now I told you one relation, E is equal to 2g into 1 plus mu. From this, suppose if you substitute 0.5, you will get some value. Suppose if you substitute 0.5, you want 2.2 into 2g into 1 plus 0.5, you will get it 2g into 1.5, that means you will get 3g. That means here in this value, here in this case you will get it E is equal to 3g. Suppose if you substitute E is equal to 3k into 1 minus 2 mu. Suppose if you substitute E is equal to 3k into 1 minus mu, 3k into 1 minus 0.5 means this will be 0. That means 2.2 into 0.5, that entire term will be 1 minus 1 will be 0. That means E will be 0. Here E is the Young's modulus. E is the Young's modulus means it is a material property. Whenever any material property, it should not be value becomes 0. That means that Young's modulus of a steel, Young's modulus of steel will be 210 gigapascal. That material property, it will never be 0. That's why the finally it is limited to a Young's modulus value will be limited to a 0.5 only. Beyond this value is not acceptable. That is the reason it will be concentrated to 0 to 0.5 only. This is very important. The concept many people they knows. That is the reason because of this that mu value is limited to 0.5 only. If mu is equal to 0.3, what is the ratio of E by K value? Now just now I told you that relation is E is equal to 3K into 1 minus 2 mu. That means E is equal to 3K into 1 minus what is the mu value? Mu value will be 0.3. Finally, that means what they are asking, E by K value. That means E equal to 1 minus 0.6. Finally, this value will be 3 into 0.4. This value will be 1.2. See here, that means what is that value they are asking? E by K ratio value. E by K value will be 1.2. This is the final answer. Only by remembering this formula only you will get it the answer. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీనింగ్ ఏమర్థమైంది అని అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫార్ములా మనం రిమెంబర్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఈ ఫార్ములాని మనం కండక్ట్ పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా మనకి ఒక రెండు రిలేషన్స్ ఈ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 2G ఇంటూ 1 ప్లస్ మ్యూ. చూడండి, ఇక్కడ 2 వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ వచ్చింది, ఇక్కడ 1 వచ్చింది, ఇక్కడ 3 వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఏమొచ్చిందండి 2 వచ్చింది. అంటే ఒక వాల్యూ అనేది డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది అని అర్థం. అంటే K వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఏమొస్తుందంటే మైనస్ అనేది వస్తుంది. ఇలా రిమెంబర్ చేసుకోండి. 2 వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ 1 వచ్చింది, ఇక్కడ 3 వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఏమొచ్చిందంటే 2 వచ్చింది. అంటే ఒక వాల్యూ రెడ్యూస్ అవుతుందని గుర్తుపెట్టు. అంటే ఇప్పుడు E ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 3K ఇంటూ, అంటే ఇప్పుడు వాల్యూ ఎంత ఇచ్చాడు మనకి, మీ వాల్యూ 0.3 ఇచ్చాడు. ఇప్పుడు మీ వాల్యూ 0.3 ఇస్తే ఏమవుతుంది, ఫైనల్గా E ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ E బై K అడుగుతుంది. E by K is equal to 3 into 1 minus 0.6. 1 minus 0.6 will be 0.4. 3 into 0.4 will be 1.2. Now what is the final right answer? The right answer will be 1.2. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ రేషియో అనేది ఇప్పుడు సమ్ టైమ్స్ క్వశ్చన్ అనేది డైరెక్ట్గా మనకి మ్యూ వాల్యూ అనేది చేంజ్ చేయొచ్చు. మ్యూ వాల్యూ అనేది 0.25 అవ్వచ్చు, మ్యూ వాల్యూ అనేది డైరెక్ట్గా మనకి 0.5 అని అవ్వచ్చు. సపోజ్కి మనకి 0.5 ఇచ్చారు అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది ఈ బై కే వాల్యూ అనేది ఏమవుతుందండి, సపోజ్కి 0.5 ఇచ్చాడు అనుకో, ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది ఫైనల్గా దట్ వాల్యూ విల్ బి 0. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫైనల్గా ఏమవుతుంది, దిస్ ఎంటైర్ టర్మ్ విల్ బి 0. ఇప్పుడు ఈ బై కే రేషియో తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, ఈ బై కే తీసుకుంటే దట్ ఎంటైర్ టర్మ్ విల్ బి 0. అంటే ఫైనల్గా ఈ బై కే 0 అయిపోతుంది. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి, ఈ అనేది 0 అయిపోతుంది అని మీనింగ్. That means E into 0 into K. That means that E value will be 0. అంటే ఏ కేసులో యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ వాల్యూ అనేది 0 అవుతుంది. at what particular value you will get it, that you will get it E value will be 0. That point will be at point mu is equal to 0.5, that E is equal to 0. డైరెక్ట్గా క్వశ్చన్ ఎలాగ అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అంటే యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ వాల్యూ 0 అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది అని అంటే at mu is equal to 0.5. అంటే ఓన్లీ బై సబ్స్టిట్యూటింగ్ you will get it this value. This is the first question of the most of the materials with respect to Young's modulus. Now what is the question? Shear modulus. Shear modulus means how you can represent shear modulus. Shear modulus you can represent it as G, or sometimes you can represent it as some people they represent it as C. And with respect to the Young's modulus or Young's modulus, it is also called as modulus of elasticity. What it is called as modulus of elasticity. Now what is the relation they are asking? They are asking relations between E and G. Now what is the relation between E and G? E is equal to 2G into 1 plus mu. Now what they are asking, shear modulus with respect to the Young's modulus. That means E into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus mu is equal to G. Suppose this is the relation comes like this. Okay, E by 2 into 1 plus mu is equal to G. Suppose if mu value will be 0, what happen? Mu value will be 0 means that E by 2 is equal to G. That means E value G value it becomes half. At what is the condition? At mu is equal to 0. Suppose if mu it is increases means mu value actually varies from mu value is varies from 0 to 0.5. If mu value is what they are asking, that materials means most of the materials means that what is that most of the materials, that mu value is varies from 0.25. That means if it is 0.25, suppose if it is E into 2 into 1 plus 0.25, 1 plus mu, that means E by 1 2 into 1 plus mu is equal to G value. Suppose if in case of mu, that G will be, it will becomes E by 2. But what they are asking about the materials. That materials means most of the materials. What is the mu value? Mu value will be 0.25. Whenever the value will be 0.25, that finally that E equal to 2 into 1.25. That means it is equal to G. 2 into 1.25, 1.25, that means this will be G. See here, this value is increases. Before that this value is 2 and now this value is 2 into something 1.25. Finally that this value it is increases, that value is decreases. Finally they are asking that what is the relation between shear modulus and with respect to the Young's modulus. That suppose if mu value will be most of the materials, this will be 0.25. Whenever it will be 0.25, it will be always less than half only. Whenever it is 0, at that time it will be equal to half. But most of the materials, that value will be 0.25. Whenever it will be 0.25, this value is increases. Whenever this value is increased, this value will be reduces. Finally this is increasing value, this decreasing value. Finally this value will be always, it will be less than half only. Whenever it is 0, it will be equal to half. Whenever it is most of the materials, it is always less than half only. Clear? This is the concept, this is the question they are asking in exam. Like this type of tricky question they are asking, just only by substituting some of the values you will get it clarity. Next question is the beams and SFD BMD diagrams, and most of the times they will ask you in SFD and BMD points. SFD and what is BMD? SFD means shear force diagram. BMD means bending moment diagram. What is the difference between shear force diagram and what is the difference between bending moment diagram? First of all, why you have to draw shear force diagram, why you have to draw the bending moment diagram? Suppose if it is one of the beam like this, if you are applying a shear force, suppose if you are applying 10 kilonewtons, that suppose if it will be a simply supported in the beam, where is the maximum shear force it will occur, and where it is the how it is the maximum bending moment will be happens. With that, suppose if it is because of this, if it is maximum shear force occurs, maximum shear force and maximum bending moment. With this, above this you cannot apply the load, above this you cannot, it will take the any movements and it will not produce any movements. After that it will be a fail condition. To maintain a safety condition, it will not going to fail. You have to find out the where it will be the maximum shear force will be, where it will happen, where it will be the maximum bending moment will be occurs, at what is the locations. You have to identify that. You have to draw the diagram. One is a shear force diagram, another one is a bending moment diagram. Like it is a representation of a diagrams. In that diagrams you can apply n number of loads. You can easily identify this. That is the importance of shear force diagram, that is the importance of bending moment diagram, to without going to fail, only in maintaining a safety condition. You have to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram in case of a beams. First of all, what is meant by beam? Rigid member, and it should always take transverse load. It should always take transverse load. First of all, what is meant by beam? Beam is a one rigid member. It is a one structural member. It is beams only we are seeing in buildings only. Okay, only in buildings only you can see the beams. And this beam, it is like a one structural rigid member. It always takes transverse load, and because of the transverse load, see here, this is a beam, and this beam, it is always take a transverse load. Because of the transverse load, where it will going to fail. And see that how many types of beams will be there. first types of beam will be, one is simply supported, another will be cantilever, another will be overhang beam, another will be the continuous beam. How many types of beams will be there means there is a basically 4 types of beams will be there: continuous beams, and another type of beam is a fixed type of beam. And basically one basic concept of a simply supported beam, and next one is a cantilever beam, next one is a overhanging beam, next one is a continuous beam, next one is a fixed beam. First of all, out of this, most of the beams they are using in a different applications, and most of the times you are using as a simply supported beams. And cantilever beams you are seen in the our sunshades, our overhang beams you are seen in the our buses. Most of the practical applications, all buildings they are constructed with the help of a overhang beams. In continuous beams you are seen in the your bridges, whenever the bridges constructions you are seen at a continuous beams. And fixed beams, it is a both ends will be fixed. When both ends will be fixed, like our sunshade will be there, our sunset both ends will be fixed, it will not take any movements. Now in this, what is the conditions, what is the equilibrium equations they have? You have to know that equilibrium equations and how many number of reactions will be produced. In that concept you have to know that concept. Beam. First of all, what is simply supported means, if suppose if it is a beam, if the two ends are supported, that is called as a simply supported beam. But most of the people they are thinking that these two supports will be there. There is a, how many types of supports will be there? One is a roller support, another one is a hinge support. There is a 2 types of supports will be there, another one is a fixed support. Based on that supports, that will comes under a simply supported, or it will be a fixed support, or it will be a cantilever. Based on the support only this will be changed. This based on the support only it is comes under a roller support, or it will be a hinge support, and it will be a fixed support. That beam will be changed. See here, first of all you take a roller. That roller means, see here, this is a representation of a roller. This is a 2 rollers will be that hinge. Hinge means only it can take that, suppose just this is a movement like this, just this is a, like it is a hinge movement will be like this, just there is only, it allows movement only, it does not move in horizontal directions, it does not move in horizontal direction, it does not move in vertical direction, only just they are moving in these directions. And fixed support means this is not having any movements, this will be fixed, there is no movement will be there, and there is no horizontal direction, and there is no vertical direction, and there is no movements will be there. Based on that supports, this will be 3, one is roller support, another one is hinge support, another one is a fixed support. But whenever you are saying it is a simply supported means first one must and should it will be roller, and another one it should be a hinge support. Okay, why it will be simply supported means that 2 supports, one is roller support, another one is hinge support. Based on that 2 supports it will be classified, it is a simply supported. See, just you consider this will be a one will be a hinge support, one will be hinge support will be represented like this, another will be roller support, that roller support will be represented like this. And see here, this is support will be hinge support, and this support will be roller support. First of all you take a hinge, just imagine this is a hinge, this hinge will take the moments only. Very important question, hinge will take only moments, there is no horizontal directions, there is no vertical directions, but only hinge will allow only one moment. That means finally that what is that, hinge will take that only in the moments, and that means only this will be in one way. And see here, what is that roller support? This will be roller, it is moving in horizontal direction, and as well as roller it will allow in the moments also, and that means only it will allow only 2 directions. That is finally the total will be the 1 plus 2, it will be a only the simply supported beam, it will be a 3 reactions. The 3 reactions and 3 equilibrium equations. What are the 3 equilibrium equations? Sigma fx is equal to 0, sigma fy is equal to 0, and sigma m is equal to 0. 3 equilibrium equations and three reactions, easily you get it. Suppose if you get it three by help of three equations, you will get three reactions, three equations, you will get it this. That's why it is called as a, the type of beam is called as a statistically determined beam. What is meant by statistically determined beam? Means how many number of reactions, based on the equations they formed out, that will be called it as a statistically determined beam. Simply supported beam, it is a statistically determined beam. That's why it should be, one hand should be hinged, another hand it should be a roller. Suppose if this hand will be hinged and this hand will be hinged, and this will be one reaction and this will be one reaction, this will be two reactions. If it is two reactions and three unknowns, three equations will be there, this is not a statistically determined beam. Suppose if it is in case of a roller, and this is case of a roller, and two reactions, totally four reactions, this at that time this beam will be a statistically indetermined beam. That means four reactions and three equations, that beam we consider as an indeterminate beam. But simply supported beam, it is a statistically, it will take the statistically determined beam. Sir, why you are considered one hand hinged and one hand roller? That means because of the roller, suppose if any material, because of the thermal changes and because of the loads, because of the normal load, first of all, how the stress comes? The stress comes because of two reasons. One is because of normal load, another one because of temperature. Suppose if because of normal loads it comes, it is called as a normal stresses, and this is called as a shear stresses. And because of the temperatures, the stress will be changes, that is called as thermal stresses. And because of that normal stresses and because of the thermal stresses, if any stresses deviates from the normal one, that member will automatically try to elongate or otherwise changes its shape. Whenever it changes its shape, that materials allows to change that particular point, otherwise that member will going to fail. Because of that, to want to allow that member to expand out, that should be a one hand should be, you have to arrange as a roller. Suppose if you are not arranging as a roller, suppose if it is a fixed, if it is not moving in the horizontal direction, that member will try to fail. That member is under a failed condition. That's why one hand should be, must and should be, it should be a roller, and this is the one condition. And basic, by seeing that you can observe this, and from that equations, this is the reason. Because of this, one hand should be hinge and the other hand should be roller. Finally it will be a three reactions, three equations will be there, that finally this beam, it is called as a, technically it is called as statistically determined beam. This is the importance of a simply supported beams. All simply in bridges, all you construct as a simply supported beam is constructed as a continuous beams. Number of simply supported beams, you call it as a continuous. Means one end is fixed and other end is free. See here, this is a fixed end, this is the free end. That means if that member, it is one end fixed and other end free, the total will be three reactions will be happen here only. There is no horizontal movement, and there is no vertical movement, and there is no bending movement. That means there is no reactions, that all three reactions will be happens. That means suppose if it is in a fixed support, how many reactions will be there? Three reactions will be there. That is the reason this, suppose if it is reacting all these things, that member, suppose if you are applying load, there will be action. Where is the reaction? The reaction will be here only. Then in that any, in middle also, in that any portion, in that infinite length portions, that nothing will be happen. The maximum reaction, the maximum load, it will take care of this particular portion only. This particular member only, it will going to be giving any movement, it will giving any reactions. In most of the cases, this is a, you are applying load in vertical direction. That's why this is horizontal direction will not comes to picture. When horizontal direction is comes to picture, means suppose if you are applying load at angle direction, you have to resolve this components into, one is horizontal component, another one is a vertical direction. One is a vertical direction, another one is a horizontal direction. But this horizontal direction will be nullified out, and this vertical direction will be a followed by that. That means suppose if it is this will be, suppose if it is f, if it will be, this is f cos theta and this is f sin theta. Only this f sin theta will going to impact on a member and this f cos theta will not going to impact on a member. Finally this f sin theta will be is induced force on a member. Automatically this force will be reduces. Whenever it will be a 90, this will becomes as a f. Finally this member it is only reacting only if it will based on a angle. This cantilever beam means one end is fixed and other end is free. Finally how many reactions will be there? This will be 3 reactions where we are using this cantilever reactions. All slab portions, our slabs exposed materials, that exposed materials they have a slab, like our trees, one end fixed and example is poles, one end fixed and other end free. We are seeing that common examples also. Next one will be overhanging beams. Out of the beams, the best beam is the overhanging beam. Just now we are seeing one is a simply supported beam. Just now we are seeing one more cantilever supported beam, and next type of beam is a overhanging beam. Out of the beams, the most of the applications they are using is a overhanging beam. That why most of the applications you are using. In just example, you take a buses. You take the buses, see here, suppose if it is a bus, this will be one support and this will be one support. This will be free, this portion will be free and this portion will be free. That means we are not supporting here. Whenever you are not supporting here, this will consider as a overhanging beam. And most of the buildings also, suppose if you design that, suppose this will be load you are applied and this will be load you are applied, and this is one column and this is another column, this is maintained a space and this is in the, suppose if the building ends here, this will starts into the next building, it will projected into the next building. And see here, this support will not be in a only in a one house only. This one column will be here and another column will be in another house only. That means if it is in projected, that here this will be in projected outerwards, that is overhanging beam. That's overhanging beams is a best beam. By practically you can observe these overhanging beams. Most of the cases you are seeing it is our vehicles also and our design applications also, in our structural applications also, overhanging beams is a best beams. The last type of beam is a continuous beams. Continuous means the number of simply supported beams, it is a continuous supports. Most of the bridges you are seeing that bridges all are depend upon the continuous beams. Finally this is the different types of beams here.